Here's your wrestling news for December 12th, 2021. And your headlines for today include WWE trying to ignore Jeff Hardy's release, did Jeff Hardy fake his issues to get fired, Baron Corbin reacts. Updates on Johnny Gargano's free agent plans, launching Twitch/YouTube channels, more. Yet another latest backstage incident involving Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Chris Jericho says doctors won't allow him to sing after recent hospitalization. Gable Steveson opens up about past assault allegation. Hook's AEW debut racked up larger numbers than Bron Breakker. CM Punk reacts. Alberto El Patron's criminal charges dismissed due to missing witness. Cesaro hints at facing Drew McIntyre for the first time in WWE, and more. We are starting today with Jeff Hardy, who was released from his WWE contract this week after some concerning behavior at a recent live event. At the show, Jeff fled into the crowd after making the tag and didn't return to the ring, and after refusing to go to rehab, the former world champion was let go. Jeff will now have to wait 90 days before he competes elsewhere, but WWE aren't wasting any time distancing themselves from him. During this week's SmackDown in Los Angeles, special commemorative t-shirts depicted some of the Blue Brand's roster, and fans were quick to point out how Hardy was on the shirt despite having been released. Shortly thereafter, WWE shared a new, edited graphic promoting the shirts, but this time the backside of the shirt was covering Hardy from view. It takes an extreme circumstance for WWE to erase a wrestler, as even Chris Benoit has matches on the WWE Network, but for the time being, the company doesn't want fans to see Jeff Hardy on any of their promotional material. Jeff's history of substance problems has been well documented, and though many believe that this latest incident was due to a relapse, there are some with another story. On his podcast, controversial wrestling fan JD from NY reacted to Hardy's release and claimed that the former WWE World Champion had deliberately faked issues to get himself fired. Why Jeff, one of the most popular stars in WWE, who was rumored to be on the cusp of a Universal Championship feud, would want to be fired is anyone's guess, but JD was trying to convince people this was the reason. This idiotic suggestion caught the attention of SmackDown's Happy Corbin, who replied by calling the podcaster, quote, literally one of the dumbest people on the planet. Fans may remember JD from a couple of years ago, where he said that Alexa Bliss's in-ring work was as bad as he believes she is in the bedroom, and this pseudo-journalist once more provided no evidence to back up his claim about Jeff Hardy. Unlike Hardy, Johnny Gargano's departure this week was far more amicable, as his contract expired with NXT 2.0. We previously reported that Gargano is choosing not to wrestle until he and Candice LeRae become parents next year, but the NXT Triple Crown champion does have some plans. Now away from WWE, Gargano has relaunched his official Pro Wrestling Tees store, and new merchandise with new designs is already available. On Twitter, Gargano thanked the fans for their support and also revealed that he'll be relaunching his official YouTube and Twitch channels with new content coming soon. Having his own Twitch channel is something Gargano would have never been able to do had he remained in WWE, as the former NXT champion is already taking advantage of being a free agent once more. In recent months, few feuds in WWE have been more personal than Charlotte Flair's war with Becky Lynch, as the two former best friends had a barn burner of an opener at Survivor Series in which Lynch got the win. After this week's SmackDown, the pair once again faced off, albeit in fatal four-way action featuring Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, and the crowd was shocked by the kayfabe-breaking moment after the match. Following the match, in which Banks pinned Lynch to get the win, Flair proceeded to leave with her SmackDown Women's Championship, but also grabbed Lynch's Raw Women's title and handed it to the man. Referencing their title exchange, which saw Flair go off script, Lynch was visibly taken aback by Flair's gesture, as seen in fan-recorded footage. It's been reported that backstage, the two former friends hugged it out, but no words were exchanged, as they quickly went their separate ways after the hug. This isn't a full-on sign that all is forgiven between the two, but it's better than what happened last time when Lynch and Flair nearly started fighting behind the scenes after their title exchange, and this could finally mark the start of a new era in their troubled friendship. AEW news now, as Chris Jericho was recently hospitalized in the UK, but it wasn't due to a positive test. This hospitalization caused two Fozzy shows to be cancelled, and now tonight's show in London will be quite different. In a video, Jericho said that the show is still on, but doctors won't let him sing, and instead, tonight's concert will be the ultimate fan experience with a Q&A session and a live listening of their brand new album Boombox, the world premiere of the album. The band will also play Judas and Enemy live, but with the crowd as special guest singers in what will be an interesting way for Fozzie's latest tour to finish. Earlier this week, we reported on Gable Steveson, whose past has come back to haunt the recently drafted future Raw superstar. In 2019, Steveson was accused of sexually assaulting a woman with his wrestling teammate Dylan Martinez, but no charges were filed after what the Minnesota Daily called a very thorough and complete investigation. Nevertheless, a tweet about this accusation recently went viral, and in a statement issued to Ringside News, Steveson reiterated that no charges were ever brought by anyone, and the entire episode was difficult for everyone involved. Steveson added that he hopes those who believe he did the worst, even without a conviction or knowing him, will see that, quote, kindness, respect, and empathy are virtues I take very seriously. The case against Steveson and Martinez was dropped on December 20, 2019, when Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman argued that there was inadequate evidence to fairly charge and prosecute the case. An Olympic gold medalist, fans are excited to see what he'll do when he's a full-time superstar, and he's continuing to move forward from 2019, of which no charges were filed. On AEW Rampage this week, Hook, the son of Taz, made his in-ring debut, having an impressive match with Fuego del Sol. A decimating force the entire match, Hook had one of the most electrifying debuts in AEW, and fans have been buzzing about the young wrestler's future. In fact, Hook's debut has even beaten the debut of fellow second-generation wrestler Bron Breakker, as in just 13 hours, AEW's YouTube video highlighting Hook's debut earned more viewers than Breakker's debut over LA Knight from September 14th. It's worth mentioning that the title for the Hook video promotes the match as his debut, unlike Breakker's video, and that Taz has been heavily promoting his son's debut, unlike Bron's father, Rick Steiner. With that said, Hook has clearly won fans over quickly, and even in different companies, the son of the human suplex machine holds a huge win over a man many consider a future NXT champion. CM Punk was watching Hook's debut closely, and judging by what we saw, he was impressed by the second-generation wrestler. Posting a gif of a penguin complete with a hat and a briefcase quickly running away, Punk said it was him leaving Earth now that Hook is a wrestler, and it's a huge accolade for him that the former WWE champion doesn't want to end up in the ring with Hook. In October 2020, former WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio was indicted with charges of aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault being leveled at the former world champion. Now this matter is a thing of the past, as this week, all charges against him were dismissed, according to the Bexar County, Texas court records. These charges were dismissed after a witness failed to appear in court at Friday's arraignment, which means the actual trial that was set to begin tomorrow won't be happening either. Due to the dismissal over a missing witness, Del Rio was released from pre-trial supervision, released from all liability in the case, and his $50,000 bond was returned. Del Rio's trial was originally set to happen in January of this year, but was postponed 4 times until the December 13th date due to the ongoing global situation. Had he been found guilty, Del Rio was looking at between 5 years to life in prison, but the former World Heavyweight Champion won't have to worry about these legal troubles anymore. And we're ending with Cesaro, who has faced plenty of opponents in his 9 years on WWE's main roster, but one name who's escaped his reach is Drew McIntyre. Speaking to Megan Morant this week, the Swiss Superman wants that to change, as he said, "I'm still upset about Sheamus beating me last week, so I hope I can get in the ring with him fairly soon and pay him back for that. It's fun watching Drew. I've never had a match with Drew, so something to think about." A Cesaro-McIntyre feud would be physical to say the least, and if Drew does become the Universal Champion as expected at some point next year, then feuding with Cesaro could be what finally gives the Swiss superstar the world title win fans have been hoping to see for years. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.